and welcome back to my channel. I'm Really Automotive and today we have a very beautiful car behind us. We have the Cupra Formentor VZ3 and doesn't it look amazing? It's so stylish. The angle of today's video is going to be the thing that everyone thinks with Cupra at the moment. Is it just a Seat in disguise? Is there more to this car than just being a Seat FR in disguise? I definitely think there is after having this for a week, but I'm going to show you why I think that. So comment down below, what do you think of the Cupra brand? Since they've gone on their own in 2018, they've really come apart, and this was the first car they ever actually produced specifically for the Cupra brand. Even with their rich motoring history, people are still yet to get on board with the brand, but I think they're just scared of having something new. However, I think that is a beautiful example of why you would get this car, because it's so unique. It's a conversation starter. Everyone's been looking at it. Everyone's been asking me questions this week going, what is that car? I haven't seen it before. It's a showstopper and I'm here for it. Now let's talk all important statistics. So this is basically the equivalent to a giant Cupra Leon or a Golf R. So it's got 300 brake horsepower, 400 Nm of torque and a 0 to 62 time in just 4.9 seconds, which is very impressive for the size of the car. Now, it's not cheap. This car, as it is £47,500. And you may think that that is outrageously expensive. Now, looking at its competitors, it is priced with its competitors. So I'd say its direct competitor is a T-Roc R. Now, this is a lot more stylish than the T-Roc R. I feel like if you wanted something more subtle, you'd go for that. This is a whole car on its own. It's sporty. You're not losing any of that hot hatch styling performance because of the size of it. Now, you could branch out and go for a Porsche Macan, which would set you back around the same price. However, it wouldn't be as quick. It'd be a 0 to 62 time in about 6.7 seconds. So I guess it's just personal preference. So the reason this car is so expensive is because it has quite a few optional extras. So the paint is a £2,000 optional extra and I absolutely love it. So it's beautiful. It's a matte paint. I wouldn't normally go for a matte paint, but in this car I think it really works. And when you think about it, a wrap would be a lot more expensive if you wanted to get this sort of finish. It also has a sunroof, which is really nice. It opens fully. And it also has Beats sound system. Out of the three, I'd definitely get the paint and the sunroof. The Beats sound system, I wasn't that impressed with. It wasn't that great. I've had the Beats sound system in my Abarth before, and I just wasn't impressed with it then either, and that's just personal preference. So, like the Abarth, they also have Brembo brakes, which are very nice, and they're in the beautiful copper colour, which runs through the whole of the car. It's got 19-inch alloys, which are only available on this particular model, making the car look overall extremely sporty, very aggressive, and a great crossover performance car. Right, let's talk about the interior quality because it's absolutely amazing. You would expect it for the price. Now, for me, this proves that it's more than just a Seat, because a standard Seat wouldn't be this high quality. Everything feels lovely. The leather's so soft. All of the dash, it feels nice. It doesn't feel like that plastic, hard, cheap stuff that you get in a lot of cars nowadays. It's finished to an excellent quality. The Coupe's got copper everywhere. The mood lighting inside is amazing. It changes to so many different colours, whatever mood you're feeling like. I've been going for blue because in my head it matches with the petrol blue outside. It would have been nice if they made a copper. They did make a yellow colour, but a sort of orangey copper colour would have been quite nice. But that's just me, I like things to match. If I was in a GTI, it would be red. So that's me. But paying for premium for this car, and it does feel like it with the interior. There are subtle changes. There's a traction control button, which is amazing because the Golf didn't have that, and that really stressed me out. The Cupra button on the steering wheel, you can change the mode really easily. What they've done differently to Volkswagen is they've kept buttons on the steering wheel, and it's made the overall driving experience so much nicer. I know people complain about the infotainment system, but I genuinely don't think it's that bad. There's a tutorial that you can literally go on and you click and it's fine. It teaches me what to do. I'm absolutely fine with it. I'm confident with it. There's loads of different ways to turn the climate control up and down. People, I think, just like to have a moan. It's new, it's different, it is slightly too big. I won't lie, the screen is slightly too big. So when it was dark, it was very bright and it was like a massive TV there. So on Apple CarPlay and everything, I've turned the brightness down and put the background as black, and it's really worked a lot better because it's less obvious when you're driving. It's not a massive screen in your face. Personally, I would like a smaller screen, just slightly. I know it's a premium car, so you sort of want to have a bigger screen, the latest tech, but I would like it a tiny bit smaller. But other than that, I'm really impressed with the interior, so I think it is time to go on a drive. Let's go. So this car is humongous to drive, I won't lie. It doesn't feel like, it's beeping again, that's another thing. The parking sensors like to come on all the time, even when you're not close to things. Like if you're just stopping behind someone in traffic and they think you're too close when you're not. I wasn't close at all. It just seems to come on. Ooh. Up we go. This is where a crossover is brilliant because you've got the off-road capabilities to some extent. Let's just say that. You've got the option if you need to, if you have to go off-road, then you can. But obviously it hasn't got the correct tyres. Beeping again at me. I'm nowhere near anything. I wish I could turn that off. There must be a way of turning that off. I imagine there's a way of turning it off. You could turn off the parking sensors, but I'd like it so that it just came on when I was parking, not when I was driving along, because it is quite irritating. But it's all the new safety features and stuff, isn't it? So let's go. We will put it into Cupra mode. It drives how you'd expect it to drive. If you've ever driven a sort of Golf R Volkswagen Group with sort of 300 brake horsepower type car, it's very responsive, it handles amazingly, and it's really good fun to drive. And it does have a lot of engine noise, that's fake noise when you're in Cupra mode. It instantly comes on when you're just sat there and it's like, is it real? Now the exhaust sounds amazing, it pops and bangs when you're driving. However, I do like the Cupra. I don't know, I'm a bit up in the air about the whole sound system through the speakers. You know what I mean? The fake noise. I'm just not that. Got a little pop there. Oh, look how lovely the sunroof looks though. It is a really big sunroof, I won't lie. Definitely worth it, and I've said that before. Yeah, I can't see it that much from my I don't know what, I can't say that word. Provisional. You know what I mean? Provisional vision? Professional. I don't know. What's wrong with me? I can't remember how to say it. This is absolutely huge. So this car feels very wide to drive, I'm not gonna lie. It feels more like an SUV than it does a hot hatch. It's more on the SUV side because it's absolutely massive in width on the road. It feels like it is. It feels like you're driving a boat a bit. It's like, ooh. And then it stops quite sharply at the front, but it goes on for a long time, the bonnet. So keep that in mind. It does feel on the larger size when you're driving it. I can't remember. It took me a while to get my bearings with it. Because it's obviously not a massive car, but it feels so big. But then it's nice to feel, it is nice to have a, did you hear that? I hope you heard that, because that sounded really good. Oh, I love it. I do love it. But when have I ever not liked any Volkswagen Group performance car? I don't think I have. So there is a lot of legroom in the back. I'm 5'8.5" and I sit really comfortably. Now it's not an SUV, so the actual sort of space around here is limited in a way. It's quite enclosed. I feel like if you got car sick, you get quite car sick in here because although there's lots of windows, these seats are absolutely huge, so there isn't that much visibility for the passenger. Now, you have 2 USB-C charging points, and also what I quite like is that you can lock the climate control settings in the back from the front. So if you have squabbling kids, I think it's quite nice to be able to just lock it and be like, that's enough. Although there's loads of space, the seats are huge, so there isn't that much visibility in the back from the front. There's 2 USB-C chargers in the back and plenty of room with 2 great big cup holders in the back.
But the front cup holders are another story. They're not great at all. My coffee got stuck and it almost spilled. So let's talk about the rear of the car because it looks amazing. So we have the Cupra badges. We have the VZ badge because it is the highest performing car of the range, so it gets that. We also have the spoiler, which looks really good. Honestly, the rear of this car just looks amazing. We've got the nice lights, which are quite common in the VW group at the moment. And then we have the lovely quad exhaust, which are real, no fake exhaust there. Now the boot has a massive boot lip. That is my only thing, is it's not great. It's hard to get the dog in. It's a good size, but it's just hard to get pram or dog in. Got the automated tailgate, which is always very helpful. And yeah, so overall, I think it's a great looking car.
So I've had this car a week now, and sadly it goes today, which is very sad. But I have had time to live with it and get to know it, and I really do like it. There's one thing that did happen, which I'm actually really pleased with the response to it. So basically driving along, got a flat tyre, really stressful. It's a Sunday, shops were almost closing, we didn't know what to do. So there's a little number in there, which is Volkswagen Services, and we rung them and they got the AA out to us within half an hour, which is brilliant. They helped us, they pumped up the tyre because it obviously doesn't have a spare tyre, we couldn't put it on. The tyre inflation kit, that is so annoying. I hate tyre inflation kits because they never work. The hole was too big for it, basically, it wouldn't have worked. But when we took the stone out, it wasn't as big, so AA pumped it up and they drove us to the nearest quick fit. Were able to slot us in at last minute, which was really nice of them, and managed to just plug the hole instead of having to get a new tyre. Now the whole experience, it was a stressful experience, but to have that service, to just be able to call them and they sort it all for you, is brilliant. And I can't fault Volkswagen Services for helping us this week, and that's genuinely, like, everyone involved, thank you, because it was really irritating. You know, when you just get, it's like, oh, I was about to film and now we've done it another day, which is fine, but we live to learn a tale, and I think it adds to the experience of this car. I've grown quite an attachment to it and I really do like it. Let me know what you guys think. What do you think of the Cupra Formentor? Is it more than just a Seat? I definitely think it is. The thing is, you're always going to get, in the Volkswagen group, all the cars, they're in the same group. What do you expect? That's what I can't understand people's reaction with. I mean, I've seen a Lamborghini Urus and it had an Audi badge underneath on one of the parts. Of course it would, because they all share. So why does it matter? It just gives you more options. And when you trust a brand, like I trust the Volkswagen group, I love all their cars, all their brands, and it's great to have different sort of choices within their brands to find the car that suits you. So I would definitely get one of these. However, personally, I think in my sort of frame at the moment and what I'm doing, I would rather have the Ateca just for practicality reasons. And the main reason for that is actually because of the boot, is the height of it is just too high for the dog. And also having my nieces and nephews in the back, which I spoke about earlier, the seats are so big that the back isn't a very nice place to be. Now, if you were a couple on your own, or just a sort of solo traveller and you needed people in the car every now and then, or you had older children, I think it's a great car. It's a great sort of option to have as a crossover when you want a hot hatch but you need a bit more practicality and you don't want to go into the SUV market at the moment. So what do you guys think? I love the Cupra Formentor, and I know I keep saying it, but there you go. Let me know what you think of the car. Let me know what you think of the video. Give it a like and a subscribe. And yeah, my next video is going to be on my Mark II Golf GTI, which will be a bit different to this video, but very exciting. So stay tuned and I'll see you later.